difficult to predict. The racing really has been exceptional so far this weekend and this season, of course, in the FIA Karting Academy Trophy. But one of the things to reflect on and remember is that it still baffles me every single year that we have this wonderful cast of competitors that have come from all four corners of the globe to compete at this level. Many of them stepping out of their nation's competition for the very first time. And they will battle the elements. And it's amazing, when you talk to these characters in the paddock, you are blown away and baffled by just how wonderful, amiable, charming, enthusiastic, and excitable they are. They are just loving the passion of racing. They adore the opportunity to represent their country on the world stage. This is karting's edition of the Olympics, essentially. And I would love one day for perhaps the powers that be to work its way into the competition. It's a wonderful method of competition, and it really does sort out the ace drivers from the also-rans. But this has been a wonderful opportunity for these guys to step out of their nation and represent their country on the world stage. They are already heroes. They are already winners, as they have made their opportunity very clear. But now it is time for these competitors to battle for 20 laps around the Adria circuit. And the winner will be the one that is the wisest, the smartest, the most calculated, and of course, the fastest. Maciej Gledicz for pole in pole, and then it is Alexander Bondarev, the Ukraine, in second position. Nicolas Roos and Yvan David on the second row of the grid. Then Oscar Wirtz and Maxi Schleimer, Ricardo Iannello and David Walter from Luca Neunschwander, Leo Robinson, Federico Alrifai and Renaud Franco, Lucas Flusha, Leon Zelenko, Dion Gauda, Gazi Motlakar, Darius Babiawana and Augustin Bernier.
Followed by Salim Hanna, Nicolas Ambiado, Mark Dumninsky, Alexander Skeltjen, Caleb Garafoy, Nando Weichelbaumer, Tom Braken, Leo Ochai, Mark Kastelic, Matej Konic, Bart Harrison, Stefano Cagnolo, Jaco Leitinen, Ludwig Franson, Daniel Muellen, Saul de Columbres, Gio Kim, and Nemanja Jovanovic. Everybody out onto the track, 36 of them here for the second meeting of the FIA Karting Academy Trophy. This is going to be exciting, and let's expect another down-to-the-wire battle for the win on this Adria karting raceway. 1,300 meters and 11 turns to go through this beautiful track that came out of the earth back in 2014, so almost a decade of existence for this beautiful Adria karting raceway. The third visit of the FIA karting competition after 2016 and last season, and the second when it comes to the Academy Trophy. So this will be absolutely interesting to see. Maciej Gledicz on the inside line, in theory with the advantage if he has a good start. This will be a rolling procedure as always when it comes to the Academy Trophy, pretty much as the junior class in the European Championship. The only difference is that everybody has the same material, same chances, and once again it's down to the driver to be able to make a difference.
Now, one of the interesting factors coming into this one is that, of course, the way things currently stack up, we are likely to have a new championship leader by the end of the weekend, because both Renaud Franco and Salim Hanna are down the order. Maciej Gledicz is the favourite to take the lead of the championship on 21 points, but just 1 point behind him is Yvan David, who starts fourth on the grid. And there's plenty of great battles coming from Alexander Bondarev, Nicolas Roos, Wirtz, Schleimer, Iannello and Walter. So a lot could happen as they come off the final turn. Gledicz controls on the inside. Bondarev is ready on the outside. Are we going to go racing? First time of asking as the Academy Trophy gets underway next time. It's underway next time. It is a false start on this occasion, so not quite in position. And as far as race director Pasquale Lupoli was convinced that it was not going to be a start, so they will go around one more time.
Yes, indeed. Another attempt when it comes to the starting procedure, as the drivers are going to receive the order from the racing officials. Let's try this one more time, shall we? As once again we talked about the difficult task of the pole sitter, in this case Maciej Gledicz, to be able to pace down the field quite enough for everybody to stick together in the third and last sector. And our race officials onto the track are gonna have to show themselves, to show the drivers that they need to reduce their speed as much as possible. Otherwise, we cannot have a formation of the grid deemed sufficient enough by our race director Nigel Edwards. But this time around, usually it's very rare that we have 3 attempts. Generally speaking, the second is the good one. Would it be the case for the academy youngsters this time around, as they come at this point? This is here actually that Maciej Gledicz has to show the example, show the speed that everybody has to respect, And once they come back on the start-finish straight, at some point on the straight, once they pass the line, they can actually overtake. And here we go for racing in just a few meters.
Time for a great race. Gladys on the inside, Bondarev on the outside. Roos, David, Wirtz, Schleimer, Ianello and Walter giving chase. Is it going to be green? Yes, it is. We're racing, and Maciej Gladys gets a perfect whole shot start as they charge through. Oh, there's been an issue in the middle of the pack. A couple of drivers running wide there. So already a difficult start, but it looks as though everybody is still pointing in the right direction. Yvan David is up to third position and immediately charging for the lead. Alexander Bondarev has got up into first position as he battles with Maciej Gladys. Yvan David is going the long way round for the switchback maneuver. Yvan David going side by side with Gladys in a second place, holds it round the outside, banks wheels with Bondarev and drops back into third position. Now tucks back in. Yvan David wants to get this race won on the first lap by the look of it, but he has to hang back in third position for the moment.
Wow, what a start that was. And Yvan David came close to take the lead already. But the battle is on between those three drivers with Gladys and Bondarev side by side. Look out as well for
second.
The third. There he goes.
And that's Ianello, I think, through into third position as well. So Ianello has made a terrific getaway on home soil. And he is there up the inside. Yvan David takes the lead on lap 2. What a start from the Sri Lankan. Straight up into the lead of the race. And now he has a chance to not only take the victory, but take the lead of the FIA Karting Academy Trophy. What a run from David, but watch for Ianello. He's already motivated and fired up here in third position. He's on home soil. He wants to bring another Italian victory. Bondarev gets squeezed as Ianello sorts him out, holding on to that third place.
Yeah, Bondarev going a bit outside of the track, but Yvan David, this is very early for him to take the lead of this race. There's going to be a very tight battle all the way until the checkered flag, but he saw the gap and went for it. Yvan David for just a tenth of a second. Watch out for Maciej Gladys, the pole sitter. Still very early in this race, putting the pressure on, but going defensive as well because Ricardo Agnello climbing 4 places.
He's got an investigation flag.
Oh, that's
Yvan
interesting.
David is under investigation, the race leader. Now, that is obviously at this early stage going to be for potentially his start. Now, that is a very difficult one for Yvan David, or maybe they felt he was a little too aggressive on the opening lap. Regardless, Maciej Gladys gets through into the lead of the race. Yvan David's coming straight back at him. The Sri Lankan is pushing hard here as he gets on the switchback. Side by side, Gladys still holds the inside line. Yvan David's going to try and get back on terms with him. He won't know that there's an investigation into it at this point. He's just got to keep working out. Ianello in third position. Then it's Neunschwander, Bondarev, Robinson, Walter, Zelenko, and Al-Rifai. Excellent racing so far. Yvan David tucks up behind Maciej Gladys. He's going to have another go at it.
Yeah, this is great racing from the youngsters of the academy. There's no warm-up stage. 3 laps in and already fighting tooth and nail for the win. Nicolas Ambiado, another one under investigation with the warning flag for the driver further back. Agnello in... This is further back in the classification. Let's see where he is. Nicolas Ambiado in 15th place, 5 places gained. And watch out for the battle raging. Maciej Gladys under the pressure of Yvan David climbing the curb outside of turn number 3. Watch out for the place. Agnello goes through. And yes, takes second position from Yvan David. Ricardo Agnello, the young Italian, is up a place in second. He is now the chaser behind Maciej Gladys, who in the meantime actually was able to pull away just a little bit. And he keeps on fighting further back as well. There was a change. Was it Bondarev getting overtaken by Leo Robinson? We shall wait for confirmation. Yes, indeed. Bondarev in 4th place in front, of further back who made the move. Yes, indeed, the 511 further back as well. This is a look at Neuschander, my apologies, who just got overtaken by Bondarev on this one, but it's going in all senses at every stage of this field, and it's just 4 laps in already. Lap number 5 out of 20. Maciej Gladys already pulling away just a little bit. Could it be enough for him to hold on to first position until the end?
But if anyone's going to have an advantage on this circuit, it's going to be Riccardo Ianello, the home favourite. Second position for the Italian. He might just have a chance of catching up to the Polish star here. He will know the circuit better than the others in the field. Third position is Yvan David from Sri Lanka. Still has a great chance. Alexander Bondarev of the Ukraine is in 4th place. Then Brazil's Luka Neunschwander and Denmark's David Walter from Leon Zelenko of Croatia and Leo Robinson of Algeria. It's going very well indeed. Salim Hanna, the Colombian, has got up to 9th position. Great comeback from Salim Hanna. He's made up 10 places already. Gafrara is charging forward as well. The American is just in behind Nicolas Roos, the South African. So Gafrara has a really good run of this as well. But it's looking like Maciej Gladys is going to take a 10-point lead in the Drivers' Championship. going to the season finale at Christianstad. The way things are currently stacking up the inside line, a challenge for position from Walter to try and get past Neuschwander. The Brazilian is absolutely resolute in his defence of the Danish talent. But Luca Neuschwander hangs on to that 5th position for the moment. Walter is right there in B6. An excellent race from these guys in the top 10. Up the inside, nice manoeuvre from David Walter and also from Robinson, who gets through on Leon Zelenko.
Yeah, it's going out all stages, but good move indeed from David Walter. Upper place in 5th, and Leon Zelenko having to back down in front of Leo Robinson in 7th. What a race, what a start of a race that is. Let's have a look at the gaps as they come across just in front of us. Half of a second still between Maciej Gladys and Ricardo Agnello. The battle is raging still on your screen. This is the 5:05 further back. This is David Walter. Look at Neuschwander just behind, who still has something to say, going around the inside. It touched a little bit, and I'm afraid that David Walter just lost a bit of momentum over there, being pushed just on the outside of turn number 2. That was very tight, but they both managed to stay on track, clipping the curb while watching over his shoulder. That's good driving by David Walter, but he's going defensive right now because Neuschwander just behind is going for it. 3 laps, 3 positions gained already for him, but he wants more. He wants more, absolutely. 6, he could go for 5 and even further in the classification as things stand. This is lap number 7, still Gladys in the lead, Janiello 2nd, Jevan David in 3rd, just 2 little tenths, so nothing is written yet.
A good move there on the inside. That is Gafrara, who gets past Nicolas Roos in the closing stages of this lap. David Walter very lucky not to get spat off the road as he clipped the curbs on the exit there of the corner. So Gafrara up into 10th place behind Salim Hanar. They're working through the field together on the inside line. That is the battle for the lower position. I think that is going to be the 5:41 trying to charge through. It is the 5:11 getting back again though. Luca Neuschwander and Leo Robinson, I apologise, 5:47 still battling away. And up the inside, that is the lunge from Nicolas Roos to get up on the inside there of Mark Kastelic. So Nicolas Roos moves forward, the South African. And this is definitely still a great race all the way through. Lots of opportunities, lots of overtaking moves. But Maciej Gladys is having a great run of it in the lead of the race from Ricardo Iannello and Jevan David. They've now settled into a bit of a rhythm, those three. They want to stretch away from the rest of the field. Alexander Bondarev trying to stay with them in 4th place. David Walter safe and sound in 5th place. Leo Robinson is now the head of the chasing pack in 6th position, ahead of Neuschwander, Zelenko, Hanar, Gafrara, Roos, Kastelic, Babiwana, Flusha, Wirtz, Skelton, Leitinen and Ochai.
And I'm afraid in the meantime, this will be a race over for Augustin Bernier, the young Frenchman. Actually, he was going to have to retire, or at least he tumbled down the order until the very last place. So that will mean certainly, I'm afraid, retirement for the young VDK driver. Yes, he is on the sideline, unfortunately for Augustin Bernier, who won't see the final through here in Adria. But as you said, this is this is a quiet moment at the moment in the final, and those young drivers keep observing themselves after the storm in the opening stages. Everybody was trying to find their pace in this field. Everybody was trying to climb as many positions as possible, but now you can see that the top 3 has settled quite a bit, and Maciej Gladys is leading for just 0.3 of a second on Janiello. Keep observing the leader trying to find the flows in his driving, actually trying to find the gap, even the tiniest of gap where he can actually find himself and maybe take the lead. But the question is, this is still quite early. We're halfway point through this race. This is lap number 10 out of 20. David Walter the fastest on track, but still halfway through this final. Is it the right moment to go for the charge when it comes to Janiello in 2nd place? Jevan David might have the same thought in his mind, knowing that the victory potentially is up for grab, but the question is, how many laps left shall I go for the attack? Is it better now and then trying to pull away? Is it better to stay within contact, within range, and then go for the charge in the last laps, as we've seen in the qualifying races? That might be tricky, actually, happening in the young driver's helmet.
That's the trouble. There's no exact science. You've just got to hope that you have made the right call at the right moment. Further back, this is Leo Robinson battling with Luca Neuschwander for 6th and 7th places as they try and stay in touch with the race leaders, Gladys, Iannello, David, Bondarev and Walter. Now, this is fascinating from Ricardo Iannello. He has a great chance here to stand on the top step of the podium in his home country. There's not many drivers that are going to get to do that this season. Well, the only 2 that could are Ricardo Iannello and, of course, the talented Swede Ludwig Fransson. So this is going to be a difficult opportunity for Riccardo Iannello. He has a chance to put himself on the top spot at home, and that will be the biggest motivation he will ever have had in his life so far. So Riccardo Iannello working his magic here in behind Gladys and ahead of Yvan David. He's got such a smooth stance to him. He's been so calculated over the weekend, got himself into a good position nice and early on, and has been able to sustain that in second position. David third, Bondarev, Walter, they are all still together. Robinson, Neunschwander and Zelenko dropping back, but still having a great fight for P6.
Will it be the day of the Italian drivers here on home soil? Because as we saw the victory in KZ2 from Giacomo Polini, we could see another Italian, as you said, taking a trophy in the Academy race right here, right now. And coming up as well in the KZ, let's not forget that Matteo Vigano is very much in contention for the win. So it could be actually 3 races and 3 victories for the national drivers. We're not there yet, but that could be a glorious day.
Oh, contact further back, 2 karts coming together at turn 4. And that's game over for 2 of the drivers in the pack, I'm afraid. And I think we've lost out already a couple of the competitors in the midfield. So 2 drivers coming together out of turn 4. It's Nicolas Ambiard, it's Stefano Cagnolo and Federico Al Rifai. So the 2 of them have kited together. Federico Al Rifai has kept going, but sadly the Argentine there, so you can see Stefano Cagnolo is out of the race. That is a shame for the Argentine. He's been showing good speed over the course of the weekend, and he deserved a better result than that. So unfortunately, he is our 2nd retirement after Augustin Bernier of France. So a very tricky day at the office. But here is Gladys from Iannello and Yvan David, the top 3 drivers, still very close together. Alexander Bondarev is chipping away at this, as is David Walter with the new fastest lap. So there's still a very good chance that this could still change, with Bondarev and Walter very much staying hungry. We've got 7 laps to go at the end of this one, and Maciej Gladys is just hanging on in there. Iannello is getting hungrier and hungrier. The passion is dialing up a notch. The motivation is sky high. He will want to pass Maciej Gladys more than he has overtaken anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. The battle is raging. A quick word about Federico Al Rifai. Unfortunately, his weekend has been going from great to really worst, as he dropped to 30th in this race. He was on pole position, let's not forget, in Friday's qualifying. He wasn't able to really translate that into victory into the qualifying races. Funny enough, actually, he was pushed out of the track in the qualifying, but still was able to take pole position. So his first ever pole in the Academy Trophy at this level of karting. But unfortunately, the racing has been not up to his expectations. But there will be another weekend for him certainly to try and do more. But in the meantime, we're getting near the checkered flag. This is lap 14 about to be completed, 6 after this one. And Maciej Gladys doesn't want to look over in his mirrors, so to speak, because 0.3 of a second is nothing. And you can see Yvan David is keeping a close watch on what's going to happen in front of him. He's ready to take advantage of any opportunity. First, he's going to let certainly Iannello going for the move, unless he wants to go first and then attack Gladys in the meantime.
This is a terrific little battle for 6th place that we're watching. Leo Robinson, Luka Neunschwander and Leon Zelenko, the Algerian, the Brazilian and the Croatian. And they are giving it absolutely 7 bells from Africa, from South America and from Europe. These 3 drivers hail, and they are battling away tooth and nail. Excellent performances so far from the 3 nations, as here comes Zelenko having a look at Neunschwander. The Brazilian is struggling at the moment to stay with the Algerian Leo Robinson. There could still be an opportunity to work his way forward though, but Zelenko is definitely seeking a move. Here it is on the inside of Luka Neunschwander. That'll do nicely, but he's got to shut it down on the exit. Oh, Neunschwander unfortunately run out of road there. Nothing wrong with that maneuver at all by Leon Zelenko. He had the racing line, he was allowed to take it. And Neunschwander was so busy looking over his shoulder, I think he didn't realise that he was being squeezed off the road there slightly. He manages to catch it together, still in P8, but he was very lucky to get away with that.
Yeah, good battle indeed. And David Walter, the fastest on track, 51.3 at the moment, and still in 5th place, trying to catch up with Alexander Bondarev in 4th place, but still 0.8 of a second between Bondarev and Walter, 4th and 5th respectively. Leo Robinson in 6th, Zelenko as well as Neunschwander, the drivers on your picture, the 511, doing a good job indeed, making his way up to 8th place. Then we have Kastelic and Gorafar in 9th and 10th. Good effort as well from Mark Kastelic. He's been climbing 18 positions so far in this race. There's 4 laps remaining now as they come across the finish straight in front of us. 0.3 of a second between Gladys and Iannello, your leaders, with Yvan David losing a bit of momentum, 0.6 down in 3rd place, but he's still quite close to Riccardo Iannello. So let's see what's going to happen. We're back with the leaders, the 504, the 549 of Yvan David. You can see on their way to turn number 4. and the pressure is on Gladys. It's always easier to chase than being chased in karting and in motorsport, generally speaking, as we say. But right now, Marcel Gladys has everything in his pocket to go for the victory, but he needs to shut all the doors, not looking over his shoulder, and pray for anything that can happen.
This is all about who blinks first here in the battle for the victory. Maciej Gladys of Poland, Riccardo Iannello of Italy, and Jevan David of Sri Lanka. They are about a second or so ahead of Alexander Bondarev, who is a further 7/10 ahead of David Walter. This could still change dramatically in the final 3 laps, as we have already seen this weekend in the FIA Karting Academy Trophy. Nothing is settled until the checkered flag, and now Maciej Gladys is starting to tire. The tyres may well be losing some grip and traction here. Riccardo Iannello is going to try and hunt him down. Look at how aggressive they are over the curve at turn 3. They've got to be careful that they don't do anything untoward. There is Jevan David, the young man from Sri Lanka, still pushing hard to get himself further up, but definitely now Iannello is closer to Maciej Gladys than he has been in previous laps. David Walter is closing in on Alexander Bondarev. This is when the drivers are really going to start to drop the hammer and close up on the karts in front of them. But this is all about Maciej Gladys. Control, discipline, and very close quarters racing are going to come at this point now. But it's all up to Maciej Gladys. This is his race to lose with 2 to go.
It's quite impressive to see the level of performance from these youngsters. 20 laps, this is more than double the length that they had in qualifying heat, and still those 3 were able to really keep on driving within the same distance, keep a close watch on each other, and really putting everything into the effort. But right now you can see that Jevan David is closer than ever. Can he try to go for the move first? This is very, very difficult to find the right space, of course, unless clipping the curb, being aggressive and dive for anything that could happen. It could be taken in the battle. David Walter keeps on pulling out laps after laps. 51.1 is still the fastest in 5th place, as he's trying to decrease, and is decreasing indeed the gap on Alexander Bondarev in 4th. So we could see a good battle coming up, but unfortunately that might be a bit too short in time, as we have less than 1 lap to go, a bit more than 1 lap to go until the checkered flag. Maciej Gladys, Iannello, Jevan David, 3 actors for just 1 trophy. Who will be there for the taking? Final lap, here we go.
This is it for Maciej Gladys. He has worked so hard this weekend. He has put out some fantastic displays over the course of the last 48 hours. He has pushed himself into a great position. He was strong in timed qualifying. He was controlled and disciplined. We've got an accident on the final lap, by the way, up at turn 9. So 2 karts have come off the road together there. That is unfortunate, but Maciej Gladys is going to get this victory. There is the conflagration. Can't quite see who it is. That's the 512 that has gone there. So that, unfortunately, is Leon Ochai, the Japanese, and he's gone with Federico Al-Rifai. What an unfortunate end for the young man from the Emirates. But what an incredible... Oh, a battle for 4th place as Walter goes for Bondarev in the final turn. But Maciej Gladys is going to come through. The young man from Poland will take victory at Adria. Maciej Gladys is victorious in front of Riccardo Iannello and Jevan David. What a historic occasion for Maciej Gladys, for Riccardo Iannello, and for Jevan David, for Poland, for Italy and Sri Lanka. They are the top 3 in an FIA karting final. History is made.
History is made indeed, and Maciej Gladys, once again a beautiful fair play gesture between the youngsters of the Academy Trophy. But Maciej Gladys can punch the air with joy for his first victory at this level, first victory in the Academy Trophy for the Polish driver. Definitely a contender when it comes to the title, as he's taking the lead, the provisional lead of the Academy Trophy with 46 points, 8 points ahead of Renaud Frankert in this race, who finished in 13th place, the young Dutchman. So not quite the same weekend as he had in Wackersdorf, but still very much in contention for the title that will be decided in 2 weeks' time in Kristianstad. As it stands, Jevan David is climbing to 3rd place and might have a shot as well at the Academy Trophy title for this year, as well as Alexander Bondarev and Riccardo Iannello, 2nd of this race. But what a beautiful final it has been, very technical, strategic as well, very well managed until the end. So Maciej Gladys is your winner in front of Riccardo Iannello, Jevan David, Alexander Bondarev, David Walter, Leo Robinson, Leon Zelenko, Luca Neuschanter, Mark Kastelich climbing 18 places up to 9 in front of Darius Babayona, Oscar Wurz, Nicolas Russ, Renaud Frankot, Caleb Garfoy and Alexander Skutlen in 15.
And those points from Renaud Franco mean he maintains 2nd in the Drivers' Championship, 8 points back from Maciej Gladys. Dion Gaudet, Salim Hanna and Maxi Schleimer finish up next up in the rankings in front of Lucas Flusha and Jaakko Lehtinen, then Mark Dubnitsky and Nicolas Ambiado, Sal de Colombres and Ludwig Franzen, Ghazi bin Fazal Motlakar and Nando Weichselbaumer from Daniel Moellem and Matti Koenig, then Junio Kim, Tom Breiken, Nemanja Jovanovic and Bart Harrison. The retirements, Leon Ochai and Federico Alrefai went off on the penultimate lap of the race, and then we had retirements too from Stefano Cagnolo and Augustin Bernier. But for Maciej Gledicz, it's a coming-of-age moment for the Polish driver, as he will stand on the top step of the podium with Italy's Riccardo Iannello and Sri Lanka's Yavan David. What a day.
What does it take to be a Formula One driver? To be the most focused? To respect the rules? To be the quickest? To make a difference? Together we push forward health and safety innovations. We give our best to protect the environment. We stand against discrimination and fight for diversity. We promote motorsport and mobility around the world. To be a Formula One driver means to be committed. Together with the FIA, we are driven to help build a world that raises hope and enriches the lives of everyone, everywhere. Now we race for change. And we race because we are all purpose-driven.